use when the grid needed it the most. We had a big learning though. A big learning is that, which we've seen before, and boy, did we see it last summer, is that homes, residences that have a smart thermostat on the wall saved a lot more. A smart thermostat not only helped people save energy on their bills, but it made them much more able to save energy when the grid needed it the most, and they got paid more by us for those savings. In fact, customers that have a smart thermostat earned as much as $200 more on average in a year. The problem is that those thermostats, these smart thermostats, are kind of expensive for a lot of folks. $100, $200 often to buy a thermostat. And what that meant is that a lot of people in the state who could really use energy savings, who could really save some money, who could really use an extra $100 getting paid from OhmConnect, weren't able to access that extra degree of savings. And from the state's perspective, that means that we didn't have access to those energy savings when the grid needed it the most. So we're here to try and fix that. We're here to make sure that hopefully everybody in the state can save energy, get a smart thermostat, and be in a position to do this. And we're going to do that today by starting off with 25,000 free thermostats for the communities, the cities that have joined us today for this mayor's challenge. So this is a friendly competition, but it is a competition. And so we want to talk about that. This is the OhmConnect City Energy Challenge. And what's going to happen is that one city, the one city that installs the most smart thermostats as a percentage of their population is going to win. They're going to be our hero, and we're going to provide 10 scholarships. We're going to provide to the city the funding for 10 scholarships for folks to go to college or go to school training. It's really easy. You go to ohmconnect.com, you sign up. It takes a minute for a customer. We'll send you out your free thermostat. But also these mayors are doing a lot on their own to figure out how to work with nonprofits and in their communities to make sure everybody has access and everybody knows about this and everybody can save and earn. So I'm going to kick it off to them. I want to start by thanking Mayor Liccardo of San Jose, who brought this to the Big City Mayors group and got us rolling here on short notice. But first up is Mayor Libby Schaaf of Oakland. We are a proud Oakland business, and it's my pleasure to have Mayor Schaaf join us. I'll kick it off to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Cisco. We are so proud to be the home of OhmConnect, and I am ready to take you up on that city energy challenge. Now, we know that California is already experiencing the effects of climate change. We are in a drought. We know this fire season is going to be hard. And we know that when electricity is taken off for safety, to save the grid, that it has horrible impacts on our residents, particularly the most vulnerable. Oakland has a 10-year plan to reduce greenhouse gases and adapt to a changing climate. And we're excited about this opportunity because it's very consistent with our values to lead our climate change work with racial and economic equity first. So how does that show up in Oakland? Usually our low-income households that need the savings the most can't afford one of these smart thermostats. So thank you for making these thermostats free to anybody who signs up at ohmconnect.com. Not only will you get a free smart thermostat, but you will save money on your electricity bill, and you can get paid to become essentially a virtual power plant. Talk about people power. The idea that we together, by taking collective action, can prevent the turning on of one of these dirty peaker plants. This is the other equitable impact of this initiative. Those peaker plants are dirty. They spew pollution that not only impacts the environment, but impacts the health of our most vulnerable communities. So you, by participating in OhmConnect City Challenge, not only can you save the planet, save your pocketbook, but also advance environmental justice. It is very exciting to be part of this challenge. I know that my other mayors are as committed to winning as I am, but let's face it, we will all win by creating this bigger people-powered power plant that is the cleanest energy of all. And that is actually not stressing our grid and keeping those dirty peaker plants off so that eventually we can do without them altogether. Now, Mayor Liccardo, I'm getting ready to turn it over to you. Just to make this a little more interesting, I am going to give you a personal wager of a basket of awesome Oakland goods. I've got right here an Ocho chocolate bar made in Oakland, California, and some special town root beer. This is branded for our soccer team, made by Ale Industries in Oakland. We've got some Everett and Jones barbecue sauce, some Blue Bottle coffee. Like, we are like up in the stakes here. I love scholarships, but let's talk about beer and chocolate. So that's my challenge to you, Mayor Liccardo. What are you going to do to incentivize all of us to help our environment and our residents win this city challenge?
Well, thank you, Mayor Schaaf. And as you know, my wife is a big fan of Oakland restaurants, so we'll be up there to enjoy those great things with you. I also have 10 brilliant San Jose State University students who would love to have those college scholarships. We're fired up for this great competition. I'm really honored to be with two wonderful colleagues, Libby Schaaf, Oakland, Jerry Dyer of Fresno, and virtually also, I should say, Karen Go in Bakersfield, all 4 cities taking on this great challenge. And we're leading the world because we are showing that the cleanest energy is the energy we don't use. There are a lot of very expensive ways for us to address grid resilience, and we see them in a lot of different forms, and they're costly to the planet. As Libby mentioned, coal-fired peaker plants. But there's one very inexpensive way we can address grid resilience, and that is conservation. And we are crowdsourcing conservation and grid resilience through this incredible effort led by OhmConnect. And I really want to thank Cisco and his incredible team at OhmConnect for leading with this incredible technology born here in the Bay Area. Yes, proud Oakland company, but all of us can participate in these savings and in the conservation that results, most importantly, in those peak periods when we know the grid is most stressed. So like Oakland, we're going to be deeply engaged in focusing on how we can get this technology in the hands of our families who are struggling the most financially. We know they otherwise couldn't afford these incredible smart meters, but we think by spreading this and ensuring that everyone knows that you don't need to own a Tesla to benefit from the green dividend, we can reduce greenhouse gas emissions and save our grid for the rest of the state. So I am thrilled to be part of this, and I am thrilled to be able to introduce my great colleague, tremendous mayor from the city of Fresno, Jerry Dyer.
Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it. Thank you, Libby. It's an honor to participate in this challenge. I want to thank Cisco from OhmConnect and the media and others who are in attendance today. So I am excited about being a part of the OhmConnect City Energy Challenge and representing the city of Fresno, the great city of Fresno. Central Valley residents, for those who live here, really do not need me as a mayor to tell them about the searing summer temperatures, where temperatures in Fresno can get up to 110 degrees and plus in some days. And so our energy bills soar along with the mercury. And what ultimately ends up happening is it forces people who live in our city to make some very difficult choices. The choice between cooling their homes and feeding their families. And again, a very, very difficult choice. Some of the utility bills in Fresno can skyrocket as high as $700 per month. And that can happen throughout the summer months here in the Valley. And fortunately, Fresno residents have been early adopters and big adopters, for that matter, of OhmConnect's free service. And that is that about 5%, almost 5% of the people live in the city of Fresno now have already taken advantage of OhmConnect, the free service, and already engaged to reduce energy the most in any California city. And I know last year there was one day in August where our city residents had earned $89,000 in a single day as a result of the energy savings through OhmConnect. OhmConnect's innovative platform is free to use. I think that's a huge benefit. Offers users a free smart thermostat when they connect to the platform, and then ultimately pays users to save energy. So it really is a win-win. And so I want to encourage our other fellow mayors in California to get involved and to compete. I am excited to represent the Central Valley in this challenge. And I just want, Sam and Libby, the Mayor Liccardo, Mayor Schaaf, to know you big cities on the East Coast are great. I love you guys, but Fresno knows how to cause an upset as an underdog. And I think at the end of the day, we're going to show you how it's done. And equally important, or more important actually, is that we're going to help out our firefighters and our first responders in this process. I know that Central Valley residents are real leaders in when it comes to our energy future, especially with our boiling summers. So it is good to be able to not only save power on the grid, but to get paid while doing it. And really, Sam and Libby, I'm very, very happy to take you up on the friendly wager. I know that if San Jose or Oakland wins, I'll be enjoying some of the, I guess, some garlic fries and blue coffee, blue bottle coffee, and the chocolate. My wife is a big chocolate lover, so I can't wait to get some of that. But at the end of the day, it is the residents of our city that are going to ultimately win. So very grateful for that. So I want to thank OhmConnect CEO Cisco DeVries, Mayor Liccardo, Mayor Schaaf, as well as Mayor Go from Bakersfield, and CEC Commissioner Andrew McAllister for their participation and leadership. So now it is my honor to be able to introduce Commissioner Andrew McAllister. Their company has been very, very generous in terms of their, as I understand it, about a $7 million investment so far, or contribution. And that is certainly something that we can all admire. So with that, Commissioner Andrew McAllister.
Well, thank you, Mayor Dyer. I appreciate it. And I'm really, really tickled to be here. It's an honor to share the virtual dais with Mayors Liccardo and Schaaf and you, Mayor Dyer. So thank you very much. And Cisco, congratulations on rolling out this initiative. Energy efficiency and demand response, or load flexibility, are actually at the top of California's what we call the loading order. They are the principal resource that we want to go to first, and that's because they are clean and they are cheap. And so that's the best approach, and OhmConnect is really emblematic of that policy direction that we have in California. So really happy to be here on this great occasion to roll out what's a wonderful initiative. We know that flexibility, load flexibility, is a key resource for operation of the modern electricity grid, and it also assists with decarbonization and management of the costs of operating that grid. As we grow, as we electrify transportation, as we electrify buildings, we will have more electricity use, and we need to build out our grid to meet that need. And load flexibility is one key resource to enable that to happen in an optimal way, in a cost-effective way. So it's great across the board for many different reasons. We also know that we have to include everyone in this clean energy transition. And I just want to give all four mayors really, kudos for your leadership in driving local initiatives that enhance equity and inclusion and justice of all kinds. That is a key element of our clean energy transition. We won't get to our goals if we don't include everyone in California. So the Energy Commission is proud to have supported OhmConnect's development from the beginning, pretty much. As Mayor Dyer said, $7 million over the last few years we've contributed in a series of grants to OhmConnect, including the grant that is enabling this challenge project. So we're really happy to be able to play a role in this positive development of both the technology, but more broadly the business model, because it really is drawing in and enhancing the inclusiveness of our clean energy project in California, and it is therefore a key initiative. It finds value in the grid and actually transmits that value, monetizes it, transmits that value to individual customers, and that enables this inclusion for all Californians. In fact, this emphasis on low-income Californians is something that we need models for across the state. And so that's just a real beautiful thing. And I'm again, very grateful for the cities for stepping up and injecting this into your energy policy locally. It's really going to help. The flexibility really has to become pervasive. We're doing a bunch of things at the Energy Commission to enable that to happen through the building code and other ways. But OhmConnect really does show the path forward for involving every Californian in this effort. So if today is the starting gun or the starting line, I'm really looking forward to being there at the finish line and seeing how it pans out and who wins, and also quantifying all the benefits that this project will have generated for California, because they will be substantial, no doubt. And so with that, I want to just, again, thank Cisco and the whole team at OhmConnect for your vision and your demonstrating that these innovative digital economy solutions can work as we move forward in our clean energy transition. So thanks, and back to you.
Perfect. Well, thanks again to all the mayors and Commissioner McAllister for joining us here today, and obviously to Cisco and the whole OhmConnect team, who I know is tuning in today. So with that, we'd be happy to take some questions from media in attendance today. If you can identify the organization you're with and also your name and the question, we'll try to get to as many as we can, and also who you'd be addressing your question to.
I have my hand raised, but nothing's happening. Hello?
Don't be shy. I know it can take a couple seconds to type the question in here too.
Okay. Hello?
All right, Cisco, this question is actually for you from Rob Fisher. How do customers get paid for saving energy? Is it through rebates on their energy bill, or how does that work?
So customers, OhmConnect customers actually get the benefit of payment in two ways. First is they're going to save some money on their energy bill. So their actual utility bill goes down because they're using less energy, particularly as we move to time of use rates. That's going to be important. But there's another part that's really fun, which is actually you get paid directly for participation. As you save energy during key events, we actually you can actually take the savings that you've earned from in our app and cash out either to buy new devices. You can cash out on PayPal and put it directly in your bank account, or get gift cards. So you actually get paid directly as a customer of OhmConnect for the energy savings that you produce. And that's because the state grid managers are paying us and paying our customers to reduce energy instead of having to produce from a power plant. So the same money that was going to be spent to go turn a power plant on and burn natural gas or whatever the fuel was going to be, instead is paid to our customers for their reduction in energy use. And so it's really a great way of connecting the economic dots. And again, it's not just that people are going to save money on their energy bill, it is that they're also going to get paid. And they can cash out and make money directly through OhmConnect.
Perfect. And just a question to the mayors here. If there's any individual partners in your communities that you plan to engage with in this initiative, and maybe Mayor Schaaf, if you want to take this question first.
Sure. We are committed to the equity impacts of this challenge. And that means we are going to actively engage our nonprofit community in making sure that the residents who could benefit the most from the cash And the savings of OhmConnect and these free smart thermostats are the ones who are first in line. And so it's very exciting to make sure that we take advantage of that opportunity to get this benefit out to those who don't have it and who need it the most, and will be the biggest beneficiaries, because we know that climate change will hit our low-income communities of color first and worst. So we owe it to them, as well as the obligation we have to reverse centuries of environmental injustice, to proactively reach out to these communities.
Perfect. And Mayor Dyer, any local organizations in your community you're looking forward to partnering with on this?
Yeah, we're fortunate during the pandemic. We use a lot of our community-based organizations, nonprofits, to do a number of things for us with food distribution, as well as the contact tracing and so forth, testing sites. So we're going to utilize those same community-based organizations to be able to outreach to some of those disadvantaged neighborhoods, and to make sure that they're not only aware of it, but they're assisting them with the installation of those thermostats. And so we're going to take advantage of their influx into that neighborhood already.
Perfect. Thank you for that. And Cisco, a two-part question for you here. Can you opt out, or are there any penalties for not participating? That's the first question. And second question, how will smart thermostats help transform grid reliability as a whole?
Well, let's talk about the first part first. So the great benefit of OhmConnect here is that the customer is always in control. The residential customer is always in control. They can determine what devices in their home are going to turn on and off or not turn on or off. You can always opt out of an event before and during an event. And to you as a customer, that just means you're not going to get paid as much or not get paid for that event, right? So you get the benefit to the customer is based on the amount of energy they save over their forecasted use. So you're in control. And look, we all have moments. Back pre-COVID, I was having a party for my mother's birthday in my house, and an Ohm event came up. You know what? It wasn't a good time. So I left everything going as normal, and I opted out. And that's fine. And that happens to folks. And of course, we want them to be in control. So anyone can always opt out. What tends to happen, though, is people don't even realize once they get going, it gets second nature. It gets pretty easy. You're just putting off doing the laundry. Your thermostat's changing a few degrees. You probably don't even notice it's happening. So those kinds of small changes add up to a big change across the state's grid when we all do it together at once. And so one of the things we find is that people in the end don't opt out that much because they're not really that bothered. Now, second, the second question that was, I think, was how do smart thermostats, help stabilize the grid? One of the greatest one of the things that uses the most energy, particularly on a hot summer day, as you heard from Mayor Dyer, is air conditioning. So we got homes that when it's 100, 110, last year in California, we set what looks to be the world's temperature record. The hottest temperature ever recorded on Earth was down in Southern California last summer during our crazy heat wave. So we know that during those times, energy use spikes dramatically as people turn on air conditioning and try and make sure that they're comfortable. And so what we do with smart thermostats is actually pretty interesting. We adjust it slightly and quietly in the background. With your permission, you can always go override it, but in the background, it slightly changes. And what that does is a little bit of change in temperature, a little bit on that smart thermostat, added up over thousands and hundreds of thousands of people across the state, means that we're saving megawatts of energy. And that is where us all working together can really make a huge difference. Why smart thermostats are so powerful as a tool for people to earn money and to keep blackouts from happening. So that's why we came back this summer. After last summer's experience, we already control many tens of thousands of these. We came back this summer and said the number one thing we can do is get as many smart thermostats into as many homes as possible.
Perfect. And I know Commissioner McAllister, you wanted to chime in on this question as well. And just to let you know, we're going to get an audio question from Xenophobe and Abraham after this, who I know is a vlogger as well. But Commissioner McAllister, if you want to jump in.
Great. Thanks, Jess. Yeah, so just as a principal of one of our key energy agencies, this reliability question is really number one. It's highest priority for the state. The agencies are all working together. The grid operator, regulators, planners are all working together to make sure that we are as prepared as we can possibly be for this coming summer and the next summers. We're in a better position approaching this summer than we were last summer. There's been new procurement of larger generation and all sorts of different electricity resources. But we know that load flexibility's time has arrived. And so the ability to mobilize lots of small loads and allow customers to opt into actually manipulating or allowing those loads to be part of the solution and changing their energy consumption in response to what the grid needs. Cisco said on a voluntary basis. That is one of the resources that we're going to be scaling up. The digital economy has enabled this kind of cheap communications. And so smart thermostats are a really easy way for people to contribute seamlessly, really cost-free. In fact, they're making money, and it enhances reliability. We are in a drought. The large hydro resource, hydroelectricity, will not be as available this summer as it was last summer. And we have to be planning for droughts going forward as well. So the grid needs these resources to be as flexible and as responsive as it can possibly be to support the reliability that we know California's economy requires. So again, this is a really great scale up of an initiative that across the board we know we'll be needing more of.
Thank you, Commissioner McAllister. And Zen, just asked you to unmute there. I think we can hear you here if you want to ask your question.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Mayor Schaaf and Mayor Jerry Dyer and everyone else. And Cisco, can you help explain, because the press release didn't really lay out exactly what OhmConnect is. So give me it as if I were to explain it to a 5-year-old or vlog about it, right, as an influencer. What is it? Thank you.
Thanks, Zen.
You're going to test my elevator pitch experience. This is great. OhmConnect is a clean energy company. But instead of generating power, what we do is aggregate the savings of hundreds of thousands of people in California all at once to reduce energy use. And we get paid as by the state grid managers and by the utilities for those reductions because they're able to pay us instead of having to pay for power from a power plant. Let me go one step further and just say to a customer what that means to a customer. If you sign up for OhmConnect, it's a free service that allows you to save energy during key times and get paid for doing so. It is a very simple, very easy way for people to participate in their community, to support our grid, but also to make extra money, particularly during the summer. So we have our customers often making $100, $200 or more per year. And for them in the summer, that can be a very useful amount of money. That can help pay for a dental visit, or it can pay for Christmas shopping or other things. So we love that we can connect the dots, as I think you heard from Mayor Dyer and others. It is incredibly important for us that clean energy is available to everybody, and everybody gets the benefit of this transition. And so what we do is provide a way for every single person in California who pays a utility bill through one of the major utilities to participate in our clean energy transition and to make money doing it.
Perfect. And potentially last question here, and please put any more questions in the chat. But for Commissioner McAllister, with efforts like these, do you think we can avoid using beaker plants?
Well, so we have a long-term plan that is required by statute, Senate Bill 100, that requires us to move by 2045 to 100% carbon-free energy. So load flexibility is a way that we can do that more cheaply. So it helps reduce the cost of doing that, and it increases the reliability of the grid at the same time. Win-win-win. So over the long term, there are many scenarios, and certainly one of those is that we no longer have natural gas fired power plants. There are other options as well that can still get us to a carbon-free grid by 2045. But certainly we know that combustion has other negative environmental impacts, as Mayor Schaaf detailed, for ambient air quality, and tends to have a greater impact in disadvantaged communities. So absolutely, the more we can accelerate away from fossil gas, certainly, the more effectively, cheaply, and quickly we will be meeting our carbon-free electricity system goal.
I can just add one quick thing, Jess, on that. Even today, we are often dispatched. Our users actually reduce energy in mass instead of turning on a power plant today. So when the grid managers at the California Independent System Operator, they look to see where can we go get another 50 megawatts. And if we're available and online, they can use us for that 50 megawatts and our customers can participate rather than a power plant being turned on. And that happens essentially every day today.
Perfect. And potentially the last two-part question here. And again, if you have a question, please put it in the chat here. I think Cisco, geared for you here. For those who have smart thermostats already, what other products do you recommend California residents use to reduce load on the grid during peak times? And I guess a softball open question, what does OhmConnect look like in 3 years? Our participants want to know.
So the first thing is, if you already have a smart thermostat, you can connect it to Homeconnect and start saving right now. It's great. So if you have a smart thermostat, you can go ahead and connect it to Homeconnect now. If you don't have one and you want one, we'll give you one. But if, in some cases you're a renter or you don't have central air conditioning and that's not going to be useful to you, we've got an alternative for you, which is smart plugs. So we will send you a gift card and a couple of these fancy little plugs here. And you can use these to make things in your home smart. Again, we'll send these to you for free. So there's lots of ways to participate. Thermostat is our focus because we know how valuable and important it is, but that's not the right tool for everybody. And some people already have one. So we definitely want to make sure everybody can participate, even folks that either have one or can't use a thermostat. So please, when you go on through ohmconnect.com, you'll see you get these options.
Jess, can I make a shameless plug? In Oakland, we just banned natural gas in new buildings. And so ditch that gas stove and get an induction stove. Natural gas is a huge cause, not only of fire danger, not only of health impacting pollution inside your home that aggravates asthma, but also a huge producer of greenhouse gas. And so that's another, if your city doesn't require it yet, and I hope you urge your cities to actually put that in your building codes, but that is another thing that everyone can do to reduce greenhouse gas and fire and health impacts. Ditch the gas, pass on the gas, and go electric.
Perfect. Well, with that, everyone, just want to thank again all of our mayors and Commissioner McAllister and OhmConnect for kicking off the City Energy Challenge today. And with that, we'll say, may the best city win. And thank you to everyone who joined. And we look forward to announcing the winners on September 30th. And do your best to save as much energy as you can. Have a good rest.
All right, get ready, Jerry. I'm coming for you.
Thank you all.
All right, bye-bye.
Oh, so hey, folks, that's over. And thank you. James McCarty says on Stephen, I'm not discussing anything that has nothing to do with the title here. Okay, at all. So there. Okay, regardless of what the subject is. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So that that ends this, and I thank everybody for their participation. All right. That ends this broadcast.